guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided I wanted to carry on with the series that I have going on my channel, and I'm actually really enjoying it. You know, just using base game and one other pack because it helps me appreciate all the packs that I do have and all the items I do have, and I'm very lucky to have everything that I do have. So it gives me a bit more appreciation and helps me use a bit more out of all the different packs that I own. And so today I decided on Parenthood, and now this is my favorite game pack of all time. I am not kidding. I think it is brilliant. I think it makes the game so much more realistic, and if you're buying a game pack and you don't have Parenthood, I would recommend Parenthood. It really is a brilliant game pack. It adds so much to your gameplay, and even like your build and buy, and there's so much in CAS. I cannot speak highly enough of Parenthood. I really do like it. So I decided that it would actually suit really well if we did like a big family home. So I've done like a 4-bedroom. Yeah, it could be 5-bedroom. I mean, there's a playroom, so that could be another bedroom if you're short. But technically I've done it as a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I think that it ended up looking really nice, and I think that it does suit the theme of like a family build. Also, there's a few bits where the video might jump between scenes. It's just because it did take me a while to do this build, so I did take a few breaks, just so you know. Anyway, so we are doing the upstairs. I wanted to work out my floor plan and work out where the doors and windows were all going before I started the landscaping. So lately I've been enjoying doing my landscaping first, or before I furnish my house and decorate the inside of my house. I don't know why. I think it's just that's how it's been working in my brain. And I think that it looks really nice when I'm able to do the landscaping first, because honestly my favorite part of a build is the decoration of it. I love doing the inside of builds, I love the interior design aspect of it, and the landscaping bit is a bit more of a chore for me. So I'd rather get the landscaping out the way first and then move on to the inside so that I can make the most of the inside. Anyway, so I did a little bit of landscaping with this build, and there's a few flowers and a few trees, and I did that sand pit over in the back right corner of the garden, and I think it looks really nice, especially since it's meant to be like suited to a bigger family. So the family that I had in mind is 2 parents, a emo teen. I had that in mind, so the teen's bedroom is pretty dark, and you'll see that. But that, and then a girl child, and her bedroom ends up being like super cluttered and lots of patterns that are all mismatched. But my idea is that the children get to design their own room, which ends up looking really nice, because I think that the whole build has its own personality, and then the kids' rooms get to have their own personality. So there is the emo teen, the girl child, and I have a toddler room as well, and I thought that maybe it could be like a baby boy. It would be quite cute, and that was my decision on that. So you will see when we get into the inside how I decorated around that. So you can see I was just finishing up the landscaping there. I kept it nice and simple, and I wanted lots of skill building items in this build, not just for the adults but for the kids too, because I think that Parenthood adds a lot of gameplay for kids. It's almost like The Sims 3 Generations, but not quite as good. I mean, Sims 3 Generations added prom. That was brilliant. But I think that it did add a lot in the way of gameplay, make it more realistic, and I really do like it as a pack. And so I'm just moving on to the inside here. I wanted to keep a lot of the build wooden. So my thought is that room at the front in the middle on the first floor, that's going to be the playroom. So So I decided I wanted to keep that as wooden because I think that if it's a playroom, the kids are likely to make a mess in there, and if you have carpet, that's just going to be a nightmare. So I decided that that was the better option. And I kept away from my normal slate in the bathrooms, and I tried something else in the bathrooms, and I'm quite proud of myself, but I couldn't keep away from the slate flooring for the kitchen. So it is still there, but I didn't use it in the bathroom, so I feel like that's kind of branching out for me. So we're onto the kitchen here, and I kept it very simple. I love the Parenthood counters, and every build that I do, if it's a limited pack build challenge, I miss these counters because I think that they look really, really nice and really realistic for what you would expect in a normal home's kitchen. So I kept the theme in the kitchen pretty blue and grey, and I kept the blue theme through the counter seats over there on you can see the blue kind of checked pattern on the cushioning. And I add a few clutter items, nothing too much, but enough for it to look lived in. So I add a couple of paintings. Now you'll see a few bits of artwork around the house. I kind of looks like a kid's drawn them. I've done that intentionally because I want it to look like this is a real family home, and they're putting up their kids' artwork, and I think it ends up looking really cute because of that. So I've got a dining room in this build as well. It's got 6 seats, and I didn't put a high chair downstairs because personally I don't play with high chairs anyway. I think they're really annoying in The Sims 4 because your toddlers are constantly trapped in them, so I just make the toddlers eat on chairs or on the floor. So there is one upstairs in case you do enjoy playing with them, but I personally do not like them. And I think it's quite difficult to get the toddlers to come downstairs until you've increased their movement skill. So that's why I decided on not putting the high chair downstairs. Everything you need for a toddler is upstairs. There is a potty, there's a high chair, there's toys, all their skill building things, there's a bath. So I think that it's better just keeping it all upstairs in case your toddler's movement skill isn't high enough to move downstairs. And they also take ages to walk up and downstairs anyway. And so I'm just adding a few decorations into the living room here. It's a really big living room in my opinion. And I think it looks quite nice having those toys just in the corner in the living room as well, because I think that it adds a bit of realism. Like, I know that the kids have a playroom, but maybe they play with some toys downstairs as well while they're chatting to their parents, and I really like that idea. So I wanted this office to be almost like if the dad was to have video calls, he'd have it in this office, and it looks professional behind him, but he has his kids' drawings up to remind him of his family while he's busy working, and that's behind the computer, so if he was in a meeting nobody would see it, but he knows it's there, and that's important. So I add a bathroom downstairs because I think that if you're trying to get all these Sims ready in the morning and you have like 5 Sims, it's going to be difficult to do it with only a few bathrooms. So I made this one downstairs a full bathroom as well, so it makes it a bit easier because they're able to shower and get all that stuff done. And yeah, it just makes it that little bit easier. And now in the front I added a couch as well by the the shoe rack, there you go. And I did that because I think that if you are a parent, or I have seen parents at the front door, if you're putting shoes on your kid, it's much easier if they sit on a chair. So my theory was if you have that couch there, it's a lot easier to put kids' shoes on and even put your own shoes on because you have somewhere to sit. Especially if it's like a shoes off kind of house and you can't put your shoes inside. I think that's I thought that was quite a good idea. So moving on to the master bedroom here, I kept it quite simple. I kept most of the wood tones all the same. I did use a few black and white tones as well, but kept it fairly simple throughout. And I give them everything they need. This makeup tray and the tray with the hairdryer in it are my favorite clutter items. I love them. I think that they are super realistic, and part of the reason I really love Parenthood, in all honesty, I just love build and buy items. Well, obviously I do lots of builds, but I really enjoy when there's some nice clutter items. So I wanted this to look like the kids had kind of decided on how they want their their bathroom decorated. And so there's that cute little shower curtain with the elephants on it, which I think looks adorable. So I thought that that was nice, and this is probably where the toddler would be bathed as well, so I think that worked pretty well. And I've got the laundry hamper there, but I don't think that one's functional. So if you have laundry day stuff, it's not going to affect that. It's just going to sit there and be decoration instead. And I mean, I think it does add a little bit more of like a realistic feel, because that would technically be the family bathroom. So I think that is important to have in there. So I did add curtains into the bathrooms to add privacy, and I realized that normally you wouldn't have curtains in a bathroom, and you probably normally have blinds. But since it's not going anywhere where, like, you know, there could be water, I think that it should be okay. This is the playroom here. I kept it really simple. I added a few drawings up on the walls, and I thought that it looked quite cute. As a kid, I would have loved to have a room like that. I think that is brilliant. And so you can see me moving on to the teenagers room here. I use a lot of black and white in this, and I'd like to think that this teen is really into movies, and that's why he's got so many movie posters up on the wall. And I think they ended up being really nice. I did use quite a bit of clutter, and I think that it makes it look a bit more realistic to be a teen's room, because in my experience, I mean, my room wasn't the cleanest when I was a teenager and I was at school. So that was just my opinion. So over here you can see me moving on to the child's room. And I wanted this to look like the child had decided on what she wanted. She was allowed to do whatever she wanted with the room, as long as she didn't affect the outside of, like, the outside of the room. So she has lots of colors, lots of bright colors, lots of pinks, blues, and they all clash. They 100% all clash, but it's what she wanted, and so her parents let her have that, which I think is quite a cute idea actually. So I'm just adding some clutter items, and as you can see, it's super busy, but I really do like the idea that she got to decorate her own room. So this is the toddler's room, and I kept this fairly simple since we got that playroom there. That I didn't really need to put toys into the kids' rooms, because they can play with the toys in the playroom. So you can see that high chair there, and I just add a couple things on the wall here as well, and I think they ended up looking really cute. So here we are moving on to the screenshots. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. It is up on the gallery if you would like to download, and yeah, bye guys.